When a thin kid with breathing problems becomes the fastest man on Earth, you know there's something special about the story. Noah Lyles didn't just become fast by accident. His story starts in a small house in Gainesville, Florida, where big dreams felt too large for the walls that held them. His parents, Keisha Kane and Kevin Lyles, were former track runners who knew what it meant to run fast, but they also knew what it meant to struggle. Money was tight, chances were few, and their son was fighting just to breathe normally. Growing up with asthma meant Noah spent many nights lying awake, his chest tight, wondering if he'd ever be able to run without his lungs failing him. While other kids played freely, Noah had to think about every breath, every step, every movement. His inhaler was never far from reach, and his dreams felt even further away. But something special was growing inside this kid who refused to let his breathing problems control his life. The doctors told Noah's family early on that he should maybe try swimming instead of running. Track might be too hard for someone with your condition, they said. But Noah's parents saw things differently. They saw their son's anger and frustration not as reasons to quit, but as fuel for something amazing. The Lyles family home wasn't filled with expensive equipment or fancy gear. What it had was something more valuable, an unbreakable belief that hard work could change everything. Keisha pushed Noah to turn his restless energy into something meaningful. Kevin showed him what real sacrifice looked like, working long hours just to keep the family going while still finding time to coach his son in their backyard, using homemade equipment and pure determination. They didn't have much, but they gave Noah everything they had: their time, their knowledge, and their complete faith in what he could become. Family dinners often turned into planning sessions, with Kevin drawing race plans on napkins and Keisha sharing stories of her own track days, painting clear pictures of what it felt like to push your body beyond what it thought possible. The money problems were real and constant. While other young runners had access to professional coaches, amazing facilities, and the latest gear, Noah made do with used spikes and training sessions in local parks. But these early hard times taught him something that money couldn't buy: how to make the most of every chance, no matter how small. When Noah first stepped onto a high school track, nobody expected much from the tall, thin kid with the inhaler in his warm-up jacket. Coaches saw potential, but worried about problems. Teammates were helpful, but not sure what to expect. Even Noah himself wasn't sure if his body would work when it really mattered. But something amazing happened when he started running in real races. All those years of fighting for breath had made his lungs stronger and more efficient. All those nights of struggle had built an iron will that his competitors couldn't match. He wasn't just running, he was flying, leaving other runners behind like they were standing still. Records started breaking, and suddenly everyone wanted to know who this Noah Lyles kid was. His high school coach understood the raw talent, but also understood the special challenges. They worked with Noah to develop breathing techniques that would help him throughout his career. They spent hours making his pre-race routine perfect, making sure that managing his asthma became as automatic as his starting position. The change was amazing. The kid who once sat on the sidelines during gym class because he couldn't catch his breath was now setting state records. But with success came new pressures that Noah wasn't completely ready to handle. By his senior year, Noah wasn't just winning races, he was crushing them. College scouts lined up to recruit him, offering full scholarships to great programs. But Noah had bigger dreams that even scared his parents. He wanted to go professional, to test himself against the world's best runners right away, rather than spending 4 years in the college system. It was a risky move for a kid from a family that didn't have money to fall back on, but Noah had learned that playing it safe never changed anyone's life. The decision caused heated family discussions and sleepless nights, but in the end, his parents supported his vision, even when it meant giving up the safety of a college scholarship. The move to professional track wasn't the fairy tale many expected. Sponsors were hesitant to invest in an unproven teenager with a medical condition. Training costs went up, and the pressure to perform right away was overwhelming. Noah found himself competing against experienced professionals who had years of international experience, while he was still learning how to manage his asthma at the highest level. In 2016, Noah faced what felt like the ultimate betrayal of his dreams. After years of preparation and sacrifice, he missed making the Olympic team by the smallest of margins, a margin so thin it could be measured in hundredths of seconds. For a kid who had overcome so much, this felt like the ultimate proof that maybe his body wasn't meant for the highest levels of competition. The devastation was crushing and public. Media outlets questioned whether his asthma would always hold him back. Sponsors began to have second thoughts. Even some of his closest supporters wondered if the professional leap had been too early. Noah spent weeks in a dark place, questioning everything he'd believed about his potential. But Noah didn't break. Instead of feeling sorry for himself or returning to the safety of a college program, he worked harder in training with an intensity that surprised even his coaches. He studied videos of the world's best sprinters, analyzing every movement, every technique, every detail that could make him faster. He worked with new coaches, tried new training methods, and most importantly, he learned to believe in himself even when the results weren't showing yet. This period of rebuilding wasn't just physical, it was mental. Noah worked with sports psychologists to develop mental strategies for managing both his asthma and the pressure of competition. He learned meditation techniques, visualization exercises, and breathing patterns that would help him in the years to come. The breakthrough came in 2019 at the World Championships in Doha, in conditions that would have been brutal for any athlete, but especially challenging for someone with breathing problems. The desert heat and humidity created an environment where even healthy lungs struggled. But Noah had trained for exactly these moments. He exploded across the finish line in the 200 meters, clocking an incredible 19.83 seconds and taking gold. But what people remember most wasn't just his speed, it was his celebration. He danced, he smiled, he showed the world that running could be fun, not just competitive. Behind that celebration, though, was a young man fighting battles nobody could see, having just proven to himself and the world that his condition wouldn't control his limits. The victory was sweet, but it brought unexpected problems. Suddenly, Noah was being called the next Usain Bolt, a comparison that brought tremendous pressure and expectations that no young athlete should have to carry alone. Even as Noah was winning races and breaking records, he was struggling with something that many top athletes face, but few talk about: depression. The pressure of being labeled the next Usain Bolt was suffocating. The loneliness of hotel rooms between competitions was overwhelming. The weight of expectations from sponsors, fans, and himself was crushing his spirit even as his body was reaching new heights. The constant travel, the pressure to perform, and the isolation of being at the top created a perfect storm of mental health challenges. Noah found himself winning races, but feeling empty afterward, achieving his dreams, but questioning whether they were worth the cost to his mental well-being. Social media made everything bigger, both the praise and the criticism. Every race was picked apart, every performance compared to Bolt's legendary career. The young man who had overcome asthma now faced an invisible enemy that was even more challenging to defeat. The 2021 Tokyo Olympics should have been Noah's moment of ultimate triumph. He arrived as one of the favorites, carrying the hopes of American track and field on his shoulders. Instead, he walked away with a bronze medal in the 200 meters, a result that felt like failure to someone who had come so far and sacrificed so much. But in that moment of disappointment, Noah made a choice that would define the rest of his career and influence countless other athletes. In an emotional press conference that caught the sports world off guard, he opened up about his mental health struggles, becoming one of the first major male athletes to speak publicly about depression and anxiety. The admission was risky. In a culture that often sees mental health struggles as weakness, Noah's honesty could have damaged his marketability and reputation. Instead, it had the opposite effect, making him more human in ways that pure athletic achievement never could. That moment of vulnerability changed everything. Instead of running away, sponsors leaned in. They saw not just a fast runner, but a real human being who could connect with people on a deeper level. Adidas, his longtime partner since 2016, extended his contract through the 2028 Olympics, recognizing the value of being genuine in an increasingly cynical marketplace. In addition to Adidas, Lyles also secured agreements with Omega, Celsius, Comcast, and Visa. These partnerships weren't just about his speed, they were about his story, his character, and his willingness to be vulnerable in public. His estimated net worth has grown to a stellar $7 million, reflecting not just his athletic achievements, but his brand value as an authentic voice in sports. Noah's financial success isn't just about running fast. The numbers tell the story of his growing influence. In 2022, his net worth was $3.4 million. Within a year, it jumped to $3.7 million in 2023, and as of 2025, it has reached approximately $7 million. He's built a brand that goes beyond track and field, showing the world that athletes can be complete human beings with interests, opinions, and talents that extend far beyond their sport. The 2024 Paris Olympics were Noah's redemption story, written in the most dramatic fashion possible. In the 100 meters, facing the world's fastest men in the sport's most prestigious event, Lyles won the gold medal with a new personal best of 9.784, giving a 0.005-second margin over Jamaica's Kashane Thompson. The victory was razor-thin, decided by 0.005 of a second, but it was complete validation of his journey from the asthmatic kid in Florida to the fastest man in the world. But even in victory, Noah faced adversity that would have sidelined most people. He competed with COVID-19 symptoms, his breathing already compromised by the virus that attacks the respiratory system. For someone whose entire career had been defined by breathing struggles, this was the ultimate test of his mental and physical strength. His bronze in the 200 meters wasn't the result he wanted, finishing with a time of 19.74 seconds. But it showed the heart of a true champion, someone who shows up even when everything is working against them. The image of Noah being wheeled off the track in a wheelchair, exhausted but having given everything he had, became an iconic moment that defined his character more than any gold medal ever could. Earlier in 2024, on June 9th, Lyles clocked 19.77 seconds, and at the U.S. Olympic trials, he won his fourth U.S. title in the 200 meters, running 19.53. He also posted his best time of 9.81 seconds in winning at the London Diamond League on July 20th, 2024. Now in 2025, Noah is reaching new heights that seemed impossible just a few years ago. The Olympic champion, racing for the first time since the Paris 2024 Olympics, opened his season with identical 6.62 second times in the 60-meter. Noah Lyles dominated the 60-meter race at the Boston Indoor Grand Prix on Sunday, 3rd February, with Marcel Jacobs settling for 4th place. Noah Lyles delivered an incredible performance at the 2025 New Balance Indoor Grand Prix, storming to a dominant win in the 60-meter event. These performances show that his speed remains undiminished despite all he's been through. In November 2024, Lyles won an exhibition 50-meter race against content creator iShowSpeed for $100,000. The race was organized and refereed by Mr. Beast. In 2025, coming back from injury, Lyles won the 200 meters at the Monaco Diamond League with a time of 19.88 seconds, beating Olympic champion Letsail Tebogo. In October 2024, Lyles and his girlfriend, Jamaican track and field athlete Junelle Bromfield, got engaged. What makes Noah's story so compelling isn't just his speed, it's his authenticity. In a world where athletes are often packaged and polished into corporate-friendly personas, Noah remains refreshingly real. He talks about his struggles, celebrates his victories with genuine joy, and isn't afraid to be controversial when he believes in something. He's shown that being the fastest man in the world doesn't mean you have to be perfect or untouchable. Lyles has posted on X that he has asthma, allergies, dyslexia, ADD, anxiety, and depression. He is also an anime fan and has been seen carrying Yu-Gi-Oh cards during competitions. Beyond his athletic achievements, Noah is using his success to give back to the community that shaped him. He's invested in youth track programs across the country, providing equipment, coaching, and most importantly, hope to kids who might be facing the same struggles he once did. He understands that talent without opportunity means nothing, and he's determined to make sure other young athletes don't have to overcome the same barriers he faced. His foundation focuses specifically on supporting young athletes with medical conditions, providing them with the resources and encouragement to pursue their dreams despite physical limitations. It's a cause that hits close to home and represents the full circle of his journey from struggling kid to global champion. Noah's relationship with his younger brother Josephus, who is also a sprinter, remains one of the most important aspects of his life. They train together, push each other in practice, support each other through defeats, and celebrate each other's victories. This bond reminds Noah where he came from and keeps him grounded no matter how high his star rises. The Lyles brothers represent something special in athletics. Siblings who genuinely want to see each other succeed, even as they compete in the same events. Their relationship has become a model for how family support can elevate everyone involved, rather than creating destructive competition. Noah Lyles isn't just the fastest man in America. He's proof that with enough heart, enough work, and enough belief, any dream is possible. His story is still being written, and the best chapters are yet to come. Subscribe now to never miss another story of champions who refuse to slow down.